하식스와 LG 울트라 기어가 함께하는 ASL 시즌 11 4강 두 번째 경기 프리뷰로 인사드립니다. 안녕하세요, 이영경입니다. 지난 일요일에 펼쳐졌던 4강 첫 번째 경기, 프로토스의 유일한 희망이었던 변현재 선수가 이 디펜딩 챔피언 김명훈 선수를 압도적으로 제압하면서 4시즌 만에 결승 진출에 성공했습니다. 자, 이제 오늘 경기를 통해서 변현재 선수의 결승 상대가 정해지게 됩니다. 바로 조일장 선수와 이몽규 선수가 경기를 기다리고 있는데요. 이 두 선수 이번 시즌 걸어온 발자취는 어땠는지 지금부터 저와 함께 살펴보시죠. 자, 먼저 조일장 선수 24강까지 올라오는 과정이 너무나 험난했죠. 예선 1일차와 2일차 모두 결승에서 패배를 당하면서 마지막 날을 거치며 본선 진출에 성공했는데요. 예선에 힘겨웠던 과정이 약이 된 걸까요? 24강에서 황병영 선수와 김정우 선수를 내리잡아내고 16강에서도 3명의 탈환 사이에서 전승으로 생존하며 기세를 올렸습니다. 자, 그리고 8강에서는 장윤철 선수를 상대로 단 한 세트만을 내어주며 6시즌 만에 4강 진출에 성공했죠. 이에 맞서는 이몽규 선수는 지난 시즌 3위를 기록하며 시드를 얻었는데요. 이몽규 선수는 본인의 손으로 죽음의 조를 구성했고요. 그 속에서 당당히 1위로 생존하면서 3시즌 연속으로 8강에 올라갔습니다. 8강에서 만난 상대는 본인에게 온라인 매치에서 1대8이라는 큰 상처를 낸 유영진 선수. 그러나 유영진 선수와의 대결에서도 복수에 성공하면서 다시 한번 결승을 향한 도전을 하게 됐네요. 자, 이어서 양 선수가 승리하게 된다면 어떤 기록들이 만들어지게 될까요? 조일장 선수가 결승에 진출하게 된다면 ASL 시즌4에 이어 두 번째로 결승에 진출하게 되고요. 김정우, 김명훈 선수와 함께 2회 결승 진출에 성공한 저그 선수가 됩니다. 그리고 현재 조일장 선수가 8강까지 8승 1패의 성적을 기록하고 있는데요. 4강에서도 무패로 결승에 올라가게 된다면 12승 1패 92.3%라는 어마어마한 성적을 기록하면서 이영호 선수가 시즌4 당시 결승에 진출했던 승률인 88.9%를 넘어서게 됩니다. 자, 반면 이에 맞서는 이몽규 선수가 만약에 결승에 올라가게 된다면 생애 처음으로 결승 진출에 성공하게 되는데요. 이는 시즌4와 시즌10에서의 결승 도전을 실패한 후 세 번째 도전 만에 처음으로 결승 진출에 성공하는 것이 됩니다. 그리고 이몽규 선수가 결승에 오르게 된다면 김정우, 이영한, 조일장, 김명훈 그리고 박상현 선수에 이어 ASL에서는 6번째로 결승에 진출하는 저그 플레이어로서 이름을 올릴 수 있게 됩니다. 자, 그렇다면 양 선수의 경기를 바라보고 계시는 시청자 여러분들은 과연 어떻게 흘러갈 것이라고 예상하고 계실까요? 방금 전 7시까지 ASL 공식 방송국을 통해서 승자 예측을 투표한 결과 이몽규 선수가 57%의 득표율을 올렸습니다. 자, 과연 조일장 선수는 이 14%의 차이를 극복할 수 있을지 아니면 이몽규 선수가 생애 첫 결승 진출에 성공하게 될지 지켜보시기 바랍니다. 자, 그렇다면 ASL 시즌11을 함께했던 16강 선수들은 과연 이번 경기 어떤 선수가 승리를 거두고 결승에 올라갈 것이라고 예상했는지 확인해 봤습니다. 자, 총 12명의 선수 중 8명의 선수가 이몽규 선수의 승리를 예측했고요. 이 대부분의 선수들이 4대2 스코어로 이번 4강 경기가 흘러갈 것으로 예측하고 있었습니다. 자, 하식스와 LG 울트라 기어가 함께하는 ASL 시즌 11 4강 두 번째 경기. 이제 오늘 경기를 통해 결승의 대진이 모두 완성됩니다. 과연 변현재 선수가 기다리는 결승에 어떤 선수가 저그를 대표해서 올라가게 될지 4강 두 번째 경기 조일장 선수와 이몽규 선수의 경기 지금부터 시작합니다.
ASL 시즌11 또 하면 결승 진출자가 이번 경기에서 나오게 됩니다. 역대급 포스트를 보여주면서 이 무대에 올라온 두 명의 선수의 높은 승률로 이제 이 무대만 올라서게 되면 결승의 주인공이 됩니다. 조일장 선수와 이몽규 선수, 이 두 선수의 대결 경기 시작 전에 인터뷰를 진행해 보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 조일장 선수,
네.
이번 시즌은 지난 시즌들과 다르게 엄청난 승률을 자랑하면서 이 무대까지 올라왔습니다.
네.
그리고 여기 이몽규 선수를 만나게 됐어요. 어떤 느낌인가요?
일단 좀 잘하는 저그를 또 만나게 돼가지고 굉장히 기분 좋고 뭐 잘만 하면 결승 갈 수 있지 않을까 생각하고 있습니다.
지금 옆에 서 있는 이몽규 선수는 엄청난 연습량과 보면은 굉장히 듬직한 이 표정, 거기다 이 표, 뭔가 강력한 그 우승자의 그런 포스들
네.
느껴지지 않습니까? 이번 시즌 우승자의 포스.
이번 시즌
네.
한 3등 정도 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
3등이에요?
네.
왜? 뭐 때문에? 커리어가 부족해서? 노력이 부족해서? 실력이 부족해서? 아니면 예전에 영광이 없어서? 뭐 때문에요?
일단 오늘은 그냥 운이 저한테 따라줄 것 같아서 네. 그렇습니다.
조일장 선수가 이몽규 선수를 보면서 계속 웃고 있습니다. 그리고 결승의 변현재, 구두론만 하면 이기는 거 아니에요? 이런 생각을 선수들이 할 수 있는 상황. 이번 경기가 사실상 결승전이다, 그런 생각하고 계시죠?
아니요, 이번에 4강을 봤는데 현재가 굉장히 잘하더라고요. 저는 명훈이 형이 일 것 같았는데 그걸 이겨내길래 아, 이거 결승 가도 이거 쉽지는 않겠다 생각하고 있어요.
그래요. 그러면은 결승전 상대 변현재가 어렵습니까? 아니면 이몽규 선수가 어렵습니까? 솔직히.
솔직하게 홍규가 더 어려울 것 같습니다.
오! 이번 경기 잡으면 우승까지 노려볼 수 있다. 이몽규 선수는 아니 벌써 땀이 나요. 아니 시작도 안 했는데 땀이 나요.
아, 몸을 좀 풀어가지고
와!
하기 전에 좀 루틴을 바꿨거든요. 이번
예.
시즌. 그러니까 좀 굉장히 게임이 잘 되더라고요. 그래서 오늘도
오.
같은 방법으로 좀 몸을 풀었습니다.
아까 좀 대기실에서 이번 경기 나에게는 정말 하늘이 내려준 기회다, 잡아내면 이몽규 선수 결승에 올라갈 수 있는 초로의 찬스. 느낌이
네.
어떠세요?
숙제이자 기회인 것 같아요. 이제 매번 저그 대 저그전에서 좀 발목을 잡혔었는데 이번에 저그 대 저그전 극복하고 올라간다면은 뭐 누구한테도 지지 않을 것 같아요.
네. 그럼 사실상 이번 경기만 잘 풀어나간다면 이몽규 선수도 결승전의 프로토스의 상대는요, 변현재입니다. 우승이라고 생각하세요?
아니요.
아니에요?
네.
우와.
변현재가 아니에요.
아, 변현재가
네,
아니에요?
변현재가 아닙니다.
그럼 이번이 사실상 결승전이네요? 조일장 이기면 이몽규 우승이네요?
서로 저나 뭐 일장형이든 누가 이기면은 무조건 우승한다고 저는 생각하고 있기 때문에
와. 우와.
오늘 최선을
네.
다할 거예요. 네.
그래서 오늘 경기만 잘 풀어나간다면 ASL 우승자의 이몽규 선수 이름 올려놓을 수 있는 조로의 찬스. 상대 조일장 선수들이 만만치가 않잖아요. 어떤 선수를 생각되세요?
모든 종족전들 다 고루고루 잘하기 때문에 정말 약점이 없는 선수라고 생각이 되는데 그만큼 막 장점도 못 이길 만큼 엄청 뚜렷하지 않은 것 같아서
네.
네, 충분히 이길 수 있는 상대라고 생각합니다.
잘하는데 뭐 장점도 그렇게 뛰어나지 않아서 고만고만한 선수다. 밸런스적인 부분에서 뭐 하나 특출나지 않고 고만고만한 선수다.
네.
그렇다면 조일장 선수가 생각하는 이몽규 선수는 밸런스는?
밸런스가 사실 없죠. 그냥 일단 굉장히 기세가 좋아요.
기세만.
기세를 근데 한번 타면 진짜 막을 수가 없거든요. 기세를 타지 못하게 오늘 할
네.
생각입니다.
밸런스 없는 저그, 노밸런스 저그, 기세 하나로만 쭉 밀고 올라오는 저그. 와, 어떠세요?
일단 그 기세 인정받아서 참 좋고요.
네.
그 기세 안 끊어지게 오늘 최선을 다할 생각입니다.
자, 그렇다면 끝으로 조일장 선수에게 한 말씀 해주시죠.
지난 ASL 시즌 4에서 3대2로 지고 나서 정말 몇 달을 잠을 제대로 못 잤어요. 그만큼 좀 억울하기도 하고 좀 아쉽기도 하고 했던 그런 시즌들이었었는데 오늘 이 자리에서 한번 털어내 보도록 하겠습니다.
네. 이어서 조일장 선수도 이몽규 선수에게 한 말씀 해주시죠.
일단 홍규가 지금 진짜 잘한다고 생각을 해가지고 저도 열심히 준비를 했어요. 그래서 저는 오늘 저도 뭔가 그냥 속 시원할 것 같고 그냥 그만큼 미련 없이 준비했으니까 이제 잘 해 봅시다.
네. 이제 결승전 한 자리가 좀 가려지게 됩니다. 변현재 선수와 결승 무대 주인공이 누가 될지 온라인에게서 여러분 뜨거운 박수로 4강 대결을 시작하겠습니다. 버텨내기만 하면 결정적으로 유리한 상황 만들 수 있거든요.
네, 스코어가 워낙 이게 스코어가 땀이 없어졌는데요.
경기를 잡아놨고 이목주 선수가 잡아내면서 결승전으로 갑니다. 상대 공격대로 타이밍에 상대 기지를 초토화시켜 골장 놀라운 경기력으로 가장 먼저 8강 진출. 이 정도는 보여줘야 합니다. 경기력 부분에서도 대찬사를 받을 만큼 경기를 잘 풀어나갔거든요.
딱 들었어요. 이기에서 강해졌다는 게 이몽규의 발전된 그런 어떤 부분이 아닐까.
와 대단합니다. 유영진 선수 잡아내면서 4강 진출.
ASL 시즌 11 세미파이널.
What is up, everybody? This is day 2 of the round of 4 here in the ASL. We will now find out which player will go up against Mini, the PVZ god, and I think either of these guys is going to make for an interesting finalist.
Yeah. That was an awesome round of 4 match. For being so ridiculously one-sided, it was one of my favorite one-sided matches, I guess is the way to put it.
The games were really insightful about PVZ in a way that, like, I welcome a game that's that one-sided because that means everything's going to change now.
I think.
You know, when you see somebody,
we're going to see changes.
Yeah, when you see somebody pull off a strategy that's that bonkers, and it works so well, it means we're in another growth spurt overall in the game.
Yeah.
So very cool stuff.
A lot of new optimizations and attacks and harassments that we can get done. So very excited about that, and I'm like really pumped to see him play in the finals. But first, we got to see who he's going to be playing against. It's going to be another Zerg player.
Yeah.
And we have 2 of our more experienced Zergs going up, and I think they're both very brainy Zergs as well.
I agree. And also keep in mind, you know, with Queen defeated, there is a 3rd place, 4th place match still.
Yes, that's correct. So Queen is still going to show his wonderful ZVZ off.
A lot of people forget that we have the 3rd place, 4th place match. But if you're a student of ZVZ, I mean, herO versus Queen or Larva versus Queen is going to be amazing. herO Larva, I will say one thing. I think herO is better with control than Larva. Larva...
it feels that way to me as well.
I mean, obviously every good Zerg player has to be able to micro mutas, but there are some players, like Queen, for instance, who's just better at muta control.
Yeah.
I think Larva is one of the smarter players when it comes to prep.
Yeah. Definitely. He's very strategic. He's a very brainy Zerg, I think.
Yeah.
And herO's very, very smart as well. They both lean towards macro a bit more than aggression, in my opinion. But this is ZVZ, so a lot of that doesn't even count. It definitely strategy, tactics, build order, openings, micro. These are the things that are really going to matter.
So we're going to go to Hidden Track to start things off. Fighting Spirit, Ultimate Stream, Ascension, Polypoid, Polaris, Rhapsody, and Eclipse for our final map. And I don't think this is going to be one-sided. I think it can't. But ZVZ is a funny matchup. It's very unforgiving. It's very restrictive as far as tech goes.
We've had very few players that could make it one-sided in the past because there is so much volatility in the matchups. You know, other than someone like Jadong, you know, the fabled JVZ, where he just like was such a killer. You had like 70-something win percentage. Most people have it much, much lower overall. And 62.5%, that is not bad at all.
No, very impressive. And, you know, with ZVZ the way it is a matchup where you can just die right away to Lings. It can absolutely happen. Basically, you're stuck Ling and Muta as the only tech, really, that you can go for.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to have a long late-game ZVZ. I've kind of been jonesing for one for a while.
Occasionally we'll get one. Occasionally. It is rare, but I mean, a best 7 between these two, I think it's reasonably, like, it might happen. Like, I would say that we have a 10% chance of seeing a later game, like something beyond layer.
Yeah, that would be very welcome because super late game CVC is fascinating. We've seen Plague used, we've seen Ensnare used, sometimes Devours.
Yeah. Those are games that get very, very, very fun. And normally, whoever is teching up ends up losing the guy who just kept making mutas. But
yeah,
you know, sometimes we do have that switch around. But yeah, we'll see if we actually get to there at all. ZVZ tends to stay highly aggressive, tends to be decided off of very small moves, like something as small as 2 Zerglings running in when you leave your ring, right?
Yeah.
Can end the game.
Larva's shown some of the most out there strats, by the way, for ZVZ.
Yeah. He's very brainy in this matchup.
Yeah.
He's used a lot of different types of builds to finagle his way to his victories.
So I'm got my fingers crossed for some games like that as well. But if I had to say who's going to take this, I'm leaning a little bit more towards herO here.
Yeah, I was as well. And then we saw the pros, for the most part, voted that it would be Larva winning. But honestly, most of those pros that were voting were Terran players. So again, knowing
I don't know what special insight they have.
Neither ass nor elbow were known from the Mutalist Micro. But you see Larva, a much lower win percentage in Zerg vs. Zerg. But he's played some real badasses. Look, 2 and 3 versus Queen, 1 and 4 versus Queen. What can you do?
This guy's really one of the new generations of Zergs. So if he wins here and goes up against Mini, we really have entered a new era, a Mini Larva final.
That would be cool.
And of
that
course,
would be very cool.
Very important to try to win this ASL for both these Zerg players because Flash isn't here. Flash is going to be gone for a little bit under 2 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of ASL seasons.
And after that,
takes time to get back in shape. Who knows if he even wants to play in more ASLs? You never know.
We got to wait and see.
The man who's won it all may never come back. Who knows?
Yeah, he might do a been there, done that.
Yeah.
And just go on to something else. I don't know. But I do think that Larva is a real inspiration to a whole new generation of Zerg players. This is a guy who didn't really have the same kind of background. He's from the streamer era. One of the biggest streamers in the country.
Yeah, he's a big-time streamer guy, one of the more popular faces in Brood War. And, I mean, he does have some history within the game, but never to the level that we see now.
Right. I mean, basically, and I think a lot of people that follow StarCraft might not be familiar with the size of some streamers. Like, Snow's stream is very small. Snow streams to like 100, 200 people sometimes. Whereas Larva can stream to thousands. And, yeah, I mean, it's a different way that he learned the game, but I think StarCraft has really opened up in a way now that we don't have these insular, siloed teams where they're all keeping secrets and training together. Now, you know, there's much more, even in English, guides for ways to play the game on YouTube. Streamers are very open to helping the viewers in their channel. And so I think we're kind of getting to learn the game more together here.
Yeah, it's definitely the case. You know, you have all these geniuses that still play, and their play is seen all the time by each other. So it definitely, I get the feel that the metagame evolves quicker now than it ever did, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But ZVZ meta, not as much evolving because there's just not as much to it. It's Lings, it's mutas, and the edges are very small and very measurable.
Yeah. Nice song selection here from herO.
No thank you once again.
Yeah, he keeps wearing the
shirt. That's his shirt every time. You watch. In Game 2, he's going to have the same shirt, I swear to God.
He's not going to change his clothes between every game.
Look at that. Season 11, 88.9%. He's dropped a single map
It looks like he's looking at Mini not making a cannon in that day one game, being like, seriously?
Yeah.
And then he just beats Queen. It's like, all right, that's
All right,
gonna-
I'll have something. I'll have some
have
hydras ready for you,
I'll
my
have
friend.
something ready for that.
Yeah.
Well, luckily he brought his lucky no thank you shirt.
It's been lucky so far. Only
Yep.
dropped a map to snow. Other than that,
It wasn't
everything
his
looking
skill.
good.
It was the shirt he brought. And we had this last time we casted Larva, but he kept the mask down on the chin the entire time.
Yeah.
Making him look like he was
Well, here's
Jaw.
the thing, Tastosis.
Jaw
Let's
is
not
something
judge.
fun.
We don't know if his jaw is attached to his head. Maybe he needs that.
maybe. That'd be a rough thing to lose, is your jaw.
That would be. That would be terrible. Now, quite a few more maps lost here by Larva, but who cares? As
Who
long as
cares?
yeah.
Don't judge.
A couple maps there to rush.
Look, he's
That
looking
last
back at
round.
me. I'm like, Larva, please don't leave. He's turning back. Give me one more look before he doesn't say anything and walks out. I'm glad he brought his lab goggles today.
Yep.
That's good. Don't want to get your eyes burned.
What do you think about the score here, Tastosis?
I think we go to game 7 or game 6, honestly. I don't know
Yeah.
who takes it. I think maybe herO, like I said earlier, but I don't think it's going to be a 4-0. It can't be, right?
Well, it's CVZ, right? There's a lot of volatility, so even if one of the players is better than the other, you think they catch them eventually.
All right, guys, we're ready for game 1. herO versus Larva. The winner of this best of 7 fights Mini in the finals of ASL Season 11.
Choosing their colors, purple and orange. What's the strategic significance?
Purple Zerg's the best Zerg. You didn't know that?
Oh. What about orange Zerg?
Second best.
Oh. Damn, I guess we know who's going to win. They were right. It's Larva. All right, so herO as our orange Zerg in the bottom right. Larva, purple Zerg top left. I guess purple blends in with the creep a little bit more. That'd be an advantage.
That's a big advantage, man.
Yeah. You have to shift tab and fix that right up, make them teal. Pops right out of that creep.
So, quick, synopsis of ZVZ here. It's a matchup where you can't really tech to Hydras. You can't. You're not going to see an Ultralisk or even a Hive. Lings with speed are so strong. The only thing that can stop them is Mutalisks, because Lings can't attack air. And after that, the Mutalisk is the unit.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the source of production being Larva, which only comes from the hatchery, there is a balancing act of getting the right number of Mutalisks or Lings.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of games in ZVZ end pretty quickly. ZVZ is a matchup that really is, it's weird to say, has no macro.
Yeah,
Like a
that's true.
low-tier player can macro at the same rate as an ASL champion.
Yeah.
It's not hard to produce out of 2 hatcheries.
No, a lot of times one hatchery.
A lot of times 1 hatchery. And it's kind of funny because the only thing that's close to having this few units early on is Warcraft 3 in some matchups. And ZVZ has even less than you normally have in a Warcraft 3 game.
Yeah.
And so the thing about Warcraft 3...
You don't even have to put any drones on wood.
No, you don't have to mine any lumber.
Yeah.
But the thing about, Warcraft 3 is losing a unit in Warcraft 3 is a pretty big deal, right? I mean, we don't always remark on every Zealot or Hydralisk that's killed, right? Marines can be lost, and it doesn't mean the game is over. ZVZ, because things get started very quickly. First of all, you don't have a lot of drones, so 1 or 2 workers are killed. It's like you've lost an Acolyte or something. In Warcraft 3, it's a big deal. And then you've got the fact that you don't have a lot of production buildings. So I mean, everything is so precious, is so important, and like we've said before, it's kind of like a fighting game. Like, it's all about trying to control stuff.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win an
It's
economic.
a lot of Zergling footsies.
Right, a lot of Ling footsies, a lot of Muta footsies. Scourge, by the way, of course, also going to be using this matchup. Now, immediately we have a Ling rush across the map here.
Yeah, but it is cross spawn, so he's going to have his own Lings out and ready to parry
But these Lings from herO are going to have Ling speed first.
Mm-hmm.
And Lings with speed will always beat Lings without, unless the Lings without speed have far superior numbers.
Well, I think he's going to continue to make them because that is what herO is doing as well. Layer on the way right now for herO, so teching up a lot quicker, but don't forget, it's cross-spawn, so that makes it a little bit harder to be aggressive. A lot of Lings coming in now, but Larva has made quite a few himself. All right, drones coming down to help fight.
Now, the drones have range. That's important to remember, and the AI of the Lings will always attack other Lings over drones.
Yeah,
also,
you have to target the drones.
Drones are a bit bulkier, so they can be very helpful in these fights.
That's right, they actually block quite a bit. They can shoot over a Zergling in certain situations if they're right next to it.
Right.
But forces that back, at least for now. Has that second hatchery up and is starting to mine. Spire on the way here for herO. This is a pretty common situation that we see, and a lot of the times the two-hatch player ends up Ling flooding. You can see he's sending a bunch to this side.
Good catch over here.
Yeah.
He knew where they were going to be hiding.
I actually think he might... Did he think he was going to be top right? Because his Overlord didn't actually scout him yet, right?
Oh, that's weird. Maybe. I think now he knows what's going on.
Now he knows.
And so the question for Larva is, how many mutas does he make, or does he just go hard into Lings? Because, herO having only one hatchery here, you do need to get some Larva saved here for mutas.
Yeah. And he's trying to push the ramp up. More Lings have been made here for herO. So he's going to hold that.
Larva does have enough Zerglings back here. He's not going to get counterattacked. Now, keep in mind, Larva's not actually mining gas.
Mm-hmm. Has that layer, but hasn't started Spire.
The Spire,
probably going to need to go for some spores here.
I think that's the only thing he can do, is throw down some spores and then basically play the game out from here. So he's going to get the Evo Chamber out here. Now, Zerg can only make 3 Mutalisks, and 1 spore easily beats 3 mutas.
Oh, yes. But, of course, he has to cover both mineral lines. You have to make sure, as well as the mutas grow, that you have enough to actually protect your whole mineral line on both bases.
So more Lings are going to pressure up here. Can he get this drone? Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah, he's going to get a second one as well.
2 drones?
That is painful.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I can't believe he loses 2 drones right off the bat there. But, he's droning pretty heavily. Don't forget, he has twice as much Larva. Muta's out now. Going to kill off this first Overlord.
So let's point out what is available here for everybody. Larva is going to have spores up here, so most of his drones are going to be safe, but he doesn't have a Spire. Well, he just started one. His Spire is going to be a ways away. On herO's side of the map, he obviously has Mutalisks. He doesn't have an expansion, which is going to factor in later on. He also doesn't have a Sunken Colony in his main, so Lings can counter him and really do quite a bit of damage. And that's exactly what we're about to see here, is these 4 Lings are going to come up.
Diving there a little bit on those drones. There are some tactics that we see occasionally. Now, hold on. He's actually running into the main base before that Sunken is done. Some drone drilling going on here from herO.
Extremely patient here from herO. Man, he's really good at microing this.
Wow, that micro. And his Sunken comes up, and he does not lose a drone. Fantastically done.
Now, the thing is, you can... Oh... I love that. Instantly makes a creep colony. Yeah, you can run in there and just kill off drones. You can ignore 1 spore if you get enough mutas here.
Yeah, and eventually you actually start killing spores. Like, you have to be careful to continually add these on until you have your own mutas and Scourge available. Ooh, that's a good hit.
That's actually a bit of a surprise.
That could be very
pool. That could be a good target to attack. So basically, herO's controlling extremely well and just picking drone after drone after drone. You'd want them just remaking drones over, hitting anything else.
Now, any damage you can get done is just gigantic here. The Muta's going to hit some of these Lings on their way back.
Now, there's no Sunken Colony here either for Larva. And sometimes you can win games in the Ling Flood, but it's hard when you're on 1 hatch.
Yeah. If we see that happen, a lot of times what you'll see is the Mutas fly in between the main and natural to stop Lings from coming down to help. But there's enough Lings here right now for Larva for sure. He definitely has enough to parry this. Sends those Lings back. Actually kills quite a few.
So now Larva's making mutas and Scourge of his own. herO did mess up with those lings though, and so you got to be careful here because these mutas or these Zerglings instead can absolutely flood this hatchery down here and stop herO from expanding.
Well, he's expanding at the moment, and definitely very important that he gets that up. Saves that Muta just barely. It did take a Scourge hit there from Larva. But Larva now going to get his second gas. He's going to start mining that extra gas and hopefully catch up in that Mutalisk count.
Yeah, I don't know if herO's getting an upgrade. I wish we could see that, just because there's, so much...
It's only Zerg that you can't tell if they're upgrading.
Right, yeah.
They have no...
The Spire doesn't
There's
make
no
its
special
little dance.
pulsate or anything on any of their buildings, actually.
Right. It's something... I don't know if Blizzard was, pressed to just get the game out, or they just forgot to do this, but yeah, it is just it's missing.
There's no blinking lights on a Hydralisk den.
Yeah. It doesn't wiggle around when it's like, oh, we're upgrading inside of here.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets interesting, because now Larva has his own mutas, and with no Spore over here, he can actually start to really beat down these drones. And the fact of the matter is that Larva is killing so many drones here.
Yeah, the Lings had to be dealt with, so a lot of lost mining time, a lot of dead drones. 6 make it out of that main base, and Larva making a beeline back home with his mutas. It looks like he withdrew them at the right time, because sometimes you make those moves, and then their mutas get on top of yours, and it's like, yeah, you killed 5 drones, but you lost 3 mutas. And here, that's not the case.
And so it's tricky here, because especially in cross spawns, you can come from either side. It's not like if you're both sharing the right where okay, the mutas are going to make a beeline through here. I can watch for this. And so if Larva chooses to, he can come through there and gun down workers again, really putting herO in a very defensive position.
herO now running in there, getting a little bit of a scout done, getting a general idea of the Mutalisk count. I feel like Larva is starting to run away with this game a little bit. He's getting a huge Mutalisk count. He has so many more drones, and that's just going to allow him to field more things. Like, he's going to have more Lings, more mutas, more drones, and that just builds upon itself.
Well, I think especially when he got in there with his own mutas and killed off enough drones, like herO wasn't working with a lot back there. And now, I think they're close to even on muta count, but I think there's more Scourge here for Larva. Oh, that's how good. Is there any upgrades on either side here?
Not sure. No, not on herO, not on Larva.
None.
Okay, well, we're just going to fight now. Some nice micro coming out of Larva. Does take a Scourge hit there.
Oh, my God. Great
beautiful.
Target. That means the mutas are going to get the first volley off.
He's just got this Tastosis. He just has more. Even 8 a Scourge hit there, but you're not going to be able to stop him with less mutas.
Look at these guys making figure eights. This game's over. GG herO. Smashed there by Larva. Nicely done.
Very nice first game.
Relieved to win that. You know how much ASL means to Larva. He's always been a great player, but it was like a couple of years ago he started really getting top 4s in tournaments, top 8s. But yeah, Larva had very good early game. I think it's easy to look past, but he did a good job burning up all of his lings on herO's lings.
Yeah.
And when you basically make them spend all their lings, you just trade into it. It's like, well, I'm not going to lose to mutas.
Yeah, if you
I have another
hatchery.
I just keep making drones.
I'm actually a little bit surprised, because when he lost those first 2 drones to the little Ling run by from herO, I was thinking, oh gosh, maybe this isn't going to go as well for him. He's already lost some of his economic advantage, but he played very solidly. Let's not forget he was cross spawns. That helps with those 2 build orders.
Yeah, that's very true.
But it was very well played from Larva. Now, I don't know. It's just one game, but looking strong.
So we've got a lot more games ahead of us, guys. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, fighting spirit for herO versus Larva as we continue on.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
양념 툭툭, 올리브유 또르르. 우와, 그리고 제로. 너무 좋다. 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
이제 워낙 좀 질럿 커세어로 인구수를 빨리 채우려는 그런 모습이 강하다 보니까 어지간한 힘싸움으로는 못 이기겠다라는 생각이 들었거든요. 그래서 질럿한테 약한 건 뭘까 생각을 하다가 럴커? 근데 럴커를 티나게 가면은 또 옥저버가 또 빨리 나올 거란 말이죠. 그래서 뮤타를 쓰면서 히드라인 척 하면서 럴커 이렇게 해가지고 3번 정도 페이크를
지금은
줬었죠.
잘라주면 질럿 위주의 드라곤 없이 질럿 위주의 부대 편성인데 러커까지 포함된 경력이 왔기
이게
때문에
목표도
김태경 선수 같은 경우에는 대회에서 다시 한번 붙어보자, 좀 달라진 나와 다시 한번 붙어보자, 약간 이런 느낌이었고, 장윤철 선수는 저번 시즌에 이겼으니까 뭐 이번 시즌도 문제 없어, 그러니까 이랬던 생각이었던 것 같아요.
활기에서 가까운 데 썼고요. 이 팔로 하나만 있어도 지금은 거의 반영구적으로 쓸 수 있는 상황에서 그냥 죽었잖아요. 각하카를 요리조리 피해가고 있었으니까.
이거 묶어놓긴 했는데
무조건 1등 아니면 2등이겠지, 그냥 이렇게 생각을 했었던 것 같은데 오히려 1등으로 올라가니까
더 많아지기 전에
되게 기분이 좀 좋더라고요. 좀 긴장적인 부분, 그다음 또 경험, 뭔가 많이 해봐야 잘하는 스타일이라서 ASL 좀 올라오고 이랬을 때는 정말 적응이 안 됐었는데, 적응하려 그러면 떨어지고 이러고 적응을 할 틈이 없었던 것 같아요, 대회장에.
이몽규 선수와 오늘 마지막 8강 진출자인 유영진 선수가 8강 D조에서 맞붙게 되겠습니다.
그냥 딱 게임하면 느껴지거든요. 이 사람이 긴장을 했는지 안 했는지, 평소 기량이 나오는지 안 나오는지. 근데 1세트 때 되게 무리하면서 게임을 하려고 하더라고요. 그래서 되게 급하구나, 내가 할 것만 잘하면은 3대0도 가능하겠는데? 약간 이런 생각을 하면서 게임을 했었던 것 같아요. 그냥 뭐 바람러시 정도? 뭐 전략이라기보다는 그냥 모르겠어요. 약간 그런 느낌이었어요. 그 와중에 또 한 번 기량 체크를 해봤는데, 병력을 던져주면서 9시 뮤탈 4마리로 가서 그냥 홀드만 잡아놨는데 일꾼이 다 잡히더라고요. 제 컨디션 안 나오나 보다, 약간 이런 생각은 또 했었던 것 같아요, 지면서.
다시로 못 찍게 하고?
별 생각이 없었어요. 그냥 에라 모르겠다 하고 저글링 럴커 그냥 들어가서 뚫리면 좋고 아니면 말고. 게임 오늘 대충 준비한 건 아니고 되게 디테일하게 준비했는데 혼자 꼬인다 그래나? 혼자 좀 꼬이는 게 있어서 그래서 올인을 했던 것 같아요.
건너갈 코너리 없는 것 같아.
많지도 않았었던 상황에서 여러 가지로 좀 신경을 쓸 수밖에 없는 지역이었거든요.
최고의 적으로 우뚝 솟으면서 이번 시즌 최고의 선수 될 것인지.
그냥 진짜 준비한 대로 한번 해보자. 그냥 평상시 똑같이 한번 해보자. 약간 좀 그게 모티브였던 것 같아요.
가장 빠른 길로, 가장 먼저 빠른 길로 지금은 왔어요.
솔직히 뚫렸다라고 생각을 하려고 그랬었는데 평소보다 럴커를 진짜 빨리 갔거든요. 그거를 모르고 그냥 막 들어오더라고요. 이러면 막을만 하잖아 이러고 말이 뭉쳐있는데다가 무조건 계속 우클릭 때렸거든요. 어차피 상대도 노빠꾸야 이러면서 누가 이기나, 네가 쓰냐 내가 쓰냐 한번 해보자. 그러니까 이런 생각으로 임했었던 것 같습니다.
무료를 경기력을 선보이면서 오랜만에 온라인
완벽에 가까운 약간 그런 저거라고 생각을 하거든요. 요즘 게임하는 걸 많이 저도 보고 배우거든요. 근데 흠잡을 데가 딱히 없어요. 다 FM으로 제가 너무 잘하기 때문에 어려운 선수라고 정말 생각이 듭니다. 예전에는 좀 네가 올라가면 흥행이냐? 네가 실력이 없는데 올라간다? 이런 거 되게 의식을 많이 하던 편이었는데, 제가 좋아하는 사람들이 또 너무 많고 저를 좋아해주는 사람들이 너무 많고, 이게 내가 너무 나쁜 면만 바라보고 너무 부정적인 삶을 살았구나라고 생각을 하는데, 앞으로 긍정적인 마인드를 갖고 꼭 올라가서 결승까지 그리고 또 우승까지 해가지고 유종의 미를 거두도록 하겠습니다.
Guys, get out there and spread the word that ASL is coming along. I don't know, man. It's good that we could still be here and cast some StarCraft. And we can only do that because of your guys' support.
Yes.
Patreon.
Thank you guys so much for that. You can definitely, if you like this stuff, you can support over at patreon.com/ASL English. If not, no problem. But it's great to see all the outpouring of love for Brood War from that non-Korean scene.
Yeah, which we were told doesn't exist, but in fact does. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. We appreciate it.
It exists, and passionately so, right?
Yeah.
The support is through the roof. We're loving it, guys, and we're going to continue to make Brood War stuff forever.
Yeah, we do have some other stuff in the works for some new goals, but we can't give any confirmation yet. As of this recording, go check. Maybe
it takes a few days production time to get anything out, so who knows? It might be announced, but
yeah, we don't know. But we do have a lot of stuff in the works here, so we don't want to just have this as only ASL.
Oh no, there's going to be more than that.
So yeah, guys, again, we appreciate the support. We love you guys. You're awesome. And also going back into this game here, I mean, Larva with an extremely impressive showing. I'm curious to see how herO's going to play this out. Our next map was Fighting Spirit.
That's right, Fighting Spirit. Yeah.
So Fighting Spirit, definitely a map where you can go for a quick expand or go for one base. It's got a tiny little ramp.
That's right.
Which allows for a lot more one base play to be doable.
Yeah, very easy to block that off in that situation. Of course, you're very close to if you're vertical or horizontal, so that can definitely help. Some of these maps, the different rush times, sometimes people hear that, oh, this is 3 seconds quicker or slower in this direction or something, and they think, that doesn't really change that much. Oh my God, it changes everything.
Oh, it's everything.
It's insane. You can literally look at the distances, and Fighting Spirit in the close spawns is so close. And that can make some of these rushes, like what herO just did in that last game. Maybe he could have done more damage to Larva. Maybe he could have turned that around.
All right, we're going to go to Fighting Spirit now. herO down a game. I think he was playing pretty well at the start of that, but basically Larva parried every attack, burned through herO's lower number of Zerglings, and then had a great counter in there where he killed him with enough drones. Let's see what happens. We're going to game 2 right now.
All right, so herO in the bottom left. And Larva in the top right. So cross spawns once again.
Yep.
Could be a little bit better if one of them goes for that hatchery first play once again. It'd be interesting to see how they vary their strategies, right? Like a very aggressive one-hatch Ling rush into Mutalisks from herO in game 1. Larva, of course, with the 12-hatch into Ling Flood, into Mutas and Spores. Will they maintain these types of styles?
Well, Larva also had an extremely solid hold in that first attack here. He got his 4 drones in with the mix, only took damage on one, then pulled that away, so didn't lose anything, and kind of put herO in an awkward spot. It sounds basic to say, but it's something that we really have to put emphasis on. Is 2 hatcheries is twice the production of 1.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot more,
tech,
twice as much.
Yeah, your tech is very much so delayed, which is why we see the opportunity for the one-hatch player often with Mutas to try to come in and do some damage. But as long as you have your positional setup perfect, you can kind of draw the game out and then really harness the power of the double production.
Which also, of course, includes that second gas that you get a lot earlier than your opponent. That's how you're able to slingshot ahead of them with Mutas. It's like when the Apollo spacecraft shot around the moon. That's what having that second gas is.
Yeah. So this game, they both went for hatchery immediately, which means the game cools down quite a bit. Nobody is going to have to brace for impact from some kind of a Ling rush or a... We do have some kind of cool tactics that are used where there's like a sunken colony placed on their creep.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll try to break in that way. It's a fun game to cast. But instead, it's going to be spawning pool and gas here as what we have in a mirror matchup. This is mirrored builds. And I don't know if we're going to have a deviation anytime soon.
No, I don't think we really will. But when will they actually end up scouting each other? It could even end up being with their first Lings, right? Just running across the map and seeing. The thing is, they're going to be able to read into this situation that they're both pretty much doing the same build.
Right.
When, like, if the Lings cross in the center, for instance, they're going to look at that and be like, well, they're literally meeting
I know
in the center.
exactly.
You're doing exactly what I'm doing. And that's where you have to start deciding, like, do I get aggressive? Do I get more greedy? How do I handle this?
Now, every drone's so precious in the matchup that, you know, you might even be thinking twice about a creep colony, you know, or something like that. In this case, though, herO throws one down immediately.
Yeah, very quick, very quick. Layer coming up for
Do we
Larva.
have Larva doing that over here? It doesn't look like he is, unless this
Well,
drone's
let's
going to
see.
become one. No,
It does
it's gonna mine.
not. So that's advantage Larva.
Yeah, because Larva, I mean, we'll see how many more lings he makes. If he only makes lings from here on out, it's not an advantage. But I see a drone hatching now, and 4 is kind of the bare minimum. You can kind of stall time with their 6 lings and then get another one to come out in a little bit. And so the layer is coming along just fine here for Larva.
Yeah, and herO's going to be at least feeling safe with his sunken.
And so because we have a pretty relaxed early game here, unless somebody decides to do something crazy and mass, you know, all in with lings, we're going to definitely tech up into Mutalisks. And this is going to be one of the more sophisticated air versus air games because, first of all, there's not one guy that has a lead over the other. And so upgrades are going to be extremely important here. Now, the armor upgrade is better in Mutalisk versus Mutalisk because the armor upgrade works against each glaive that bounces. But the attack upgrade is cheaper.
Yes.
Which, that might sound like, why would you care about that at all? I could understand somebody saying, like, it's just 50 extra minerals and 50 extra gas. Well, dude, when you don't have any workers in this matchup, it makes a big deal.
It really does.
And if you can start that attack upgrade and have a few extra mutas, sometimes you can get in there and take a fight before their armor upgrade finishes.
Oh, totally. But we might not even get there. herO just made a ton of speedlings. Now, a sunken or, well, a creep is ready, but we haven't seen it turn into a sunken yet. Okay,
right,
he is morphing it. A decent amount of lings, but he's definitely got to make more than that.
Not easy to drone drill here, by the way.
No, you're right about that.
So, I mean, he's going to try to set up what he can over here. An Evo chamber comes down.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, a pretty well-placed Evo here.
Yeah, that's definitely annoying him quite a bit. He does the cancel on it. The drone screwing up the AI of herO's lings. More lings coming out. Drone's coming to fight as well for Larva, and I think he's held it.
Yeah, you know, he was smart. He canceled that and then he intentionally just let the drone sit awkwardly there in the middle.
Yeah. It's very hard to target those in one of these small battles. But it looks like just a very solid hold from Larva. That was a lot of lings created from herO, so I believe we do have a slight drone advantage for Larva right now.
But we definitely have a gas advantage here for herO, or for Larva, right?
Well, the muta's already started for herO. I think Larva might be a little bit later on that.
So one muta hatches over here. Now, the threat of a ling counterattack is something herO might have to respect.
I think you have to threaten that as well.
Yeah, so this one Mutalisk is coming over here. He's trying to supply block him.
Yeah, the Ling actually spots the mutas going towards his mutas, so he's going to go ahead and pull those back and then do a backstab here with the Lings. But there is a sunken. There are Zerglings here as well as a Mutalisk, so I think that just gets insta-held as well.
Yeah, this is held. He does kill a drone off.
Oh, did he get a drone?
He got one drone.
Oh, okay.
And he might get a second here.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he
gets
does.
Pretty big, man. Pretty big plays
That's
here
awesome.
from Larva. Now, he's burned through his Zerglings, so he doesn't have any more ground counterattack. That moment's gone. Keep in mind, nobody has a Spore here. So even though herO lost a few workers, Larva doesn't know if his main's going to be hit or his natural, and he's got workers at both.
Yeah, that's a good point. And in come these mutas, immediately picking off a couple drones, so that's pretty painful. 3 drones, 4 drones die. And herO going to town right now. His Scourge chasing everything down, targeting Scourge himself as well. And this definitely feels to me like herO has an advantage.
Yeah, herO dipped in, got the kills, and then got back out very quickly, by the way. And now we have more drones that are going to have to come back here and mine. Now, I don't know if upgrades are on the way, but we want to keep that in the back of our minds here.
Yeah, if someone ends up getting something such as that +1 carapace, it is huge. Of course, you can be caught doing that because that costs like a ton of Scourge, for instance, right?
Right.
Drones plus Scourge, in fact, if you want to look at the overall value of it. It's like 2 drones and 4 Scourge.
So Larva has to make a tough call. He's going to try to move out here. The Scourge are high up enough in number that herO's going to have to respect that. But the problem when you're in this position here for Larva is you don't know if you start to inch out, if the mutas of herO might dive back in and kill off more workers.
He does have a little bit of a spread, like some overlords at the top.
Yeah.
He kind of like scanned through the center a little bit. Let's see if he can get through. He actually has one more muta than herO right now. And he does have a few more Scourge, so maybe he has enough to break through. Great micro here from Larva, getting rid of all these Scourge. herO having a harder time of it.
I mean, honestly, right now, he can really take this fight very easily. And in fact, the fact that the Overlords are used as bait here is genius. He's going to pull those mutas back. I think Larva's going to win this attack here as well. There's just too many Scourge. Wow, Larva just has a handle on this matchup that I didn't fully appreciate until I'm starting to see that he just kind of knows the ebb and flow of the game. herO actually the guy that looks almost like he's trying to get a quick win here.
Yeah,
you know?
And honestly, like, I mean, I generally judge their Mutalisk control by the way that their ZVT looks, but in this matchup, at least tonight, Larva's micro on his Mutas seems a little bit better.
Impressive.
Not just that, I mean, he's squeezing out a little bit more. His defense seems slightly stronger.
He was mining his gas a little bit more quickly. He did invest in the drones and then used the positioning there to basically lock out the Lings. And I mean, it was herO trying to play catch up. herO did get some kills there, but I think there was enough gas and minerals mined that Larva was able to get the right number of Mutalisks and then shove with Scourge. You know, when you see that they're still trying to flee from Scourge hits and their mutas are hitting the other mutas, it's too good.
Well, Larva right now leading 2-0. Just needs a couple more maps to go on to his first ASL finals.
Hey, man, he's halfway there. But I still think this is going to be a close series. I think the herO can win. I think that he just needs to clean it up a little bit. He's definitely been the aggressor. Larva seems to be the one that's more patient, staying back, and, you know, basically holding whatever attack herO has and then taking the game from there.
All right. Do you remember what map 3 was?
I forgot, but we're going to have it on screen in a second here, I think.
Okay. You know, it's ZVZ, so it doesn't matter all that much, but third map, Ultimate Stream. So, I mean, you kind of have that ramp that they have to go up. It is, I mean, everything's kind of far away.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bigger map.
Well, hopefully herO can start to win some games. I would be bummed out if this was just a quick 4-0.
Yeah,
It does seem like Larva is actually a better ZVZ player, though. He's basically done everything right so far.
Well, he's looking awesome.
Even when herO loses drones, Larva also just seems to know how to get the mutas he needs, the Scourge he needs. This is frustrating for herO. I mean, ZVZs, you know, they go pretty quickly here, but already, you know, you could be halfway to being eliminated here from herO if you start to step it up.
Well, I mean, he's a consummate pro. I think he's going to be able to calm down and play his best here.
Both of our players sharing the bottom here.
Here in the bottom left, and Larva is going to be in the bottom right.
So not cross spawns, which means that being blindsided by mutas is not as much of a thing.
Yeah, but positionally speaking, I think herO has a much better spot here. The air route to herO's base goes through his natural. So he can sit defensively with his mutas in his natural and stop both mutas and Lings, whereas with Larva, if he's trying to stop Lings at his natural with his mutas, his main is wide open
to the
side.
True.
So definitely positionally, herO has a better spot here.
And so we have the Overlord Scout coming here. They're both going to find each other at the same time. And let's see if they both hatch first here. Seems like you want to hatch first on this map, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty far away map, honestly. And when the Overlords see each other, I remember back in the day, the theory when Overlords scout each other right away is to make your pool one drone after. This was the non-Korean Zerg vs. Zerg game theory.
Yeah, I know.
When you saw the Overlord, you would literally, the whole thing would be like chicken with making the spawning pool. because you just float it over their base because they aren't going to have anti-air forever, and drones are good. So if you're up one drone, that's powerful.
Yeah. I don't know how applicable that is now.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is
it's-
anymore.
but
but that
was the way.
Once upon a time,
well,
I remember
CVC
doing
was
that.
a funny matchup at the very start of Brood War because it was the matchup where you could scout each other and you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you understood how to play the matchup, it was there was a period where people would do stuff with Hydras. It's obsolete. It does not work. The Koreans figured out pretty quickly that it was not a thing, but there was like these 2 hatch or 3 hatch plays that were kind of weird.
Yeah.
I've always wondered if we could ever have that brought back. If you could just throw off a new player where they're like, a Hydra didn't what? But it just seems like, you know, mutas are able to counterattack so quickly.
Yeah, no, Mutalisk Micro, just the power of Zerglings, like I think at pro level it's just impossible to ever see Hydras again.
Yeah, I think it'll never.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a game because
I know, I would too. I would love it.
You know, anything
Zerg
new,
vs. Zerg
CVC
was
is
better when
welcome.
Hydras were okay.
Did we have pro matches on TV where they win Hydras ever? I feel like we didn't even really have
We
that.
probably did at least one time. Like, people have had builds. I remember your brother Day9
He had a very
Hydra
good
build.
one.
Yeah.
He had one that he went like undefeated with on Icy Cup. Like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, catching a lot of people off guard with that. But nowadays, like the level of everyone's Zerg vs. Zerg, I think is so high. You might be able to catch some people off guard, but
Yeah, I guess the very, very early days of ZVZ, people just they didn't have the control that they do now.
yeah.
So herO's once again been the first to opt into aggression. Larva narrowly gets the 6lings out. This should mean that herO's up by 1 drone. I'm sorry, Larva's up by 1 drone.
And
And
just going to sit back defensively here.
Now, granted, we're not Zerg players, but certainly I don't know what features on this map might change ZVZ. We never really had maps like this. Both Tastosis and I, we can play the other races, but I don't know for some of these newer maps, the ins and outs of stuff like this. So he's going to get a nice run by here. Body block by the Ling is actually insane.
Yeah, quite some time. But now the Speedling's going to get into this main base. Nice micro on those drones thus far for Larva. herO trying to get a catch here. Now the Lings are counterattacking for Larva while he goes up to actually engage.
I missed this.
This counterattack could be huge.
Well, there's no way to really
Oh my
stop the Lings
God.
from going in the main. It's not something you have to respect. And Larva is a king here.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And I love the
Yeah.
targeting on top of the eggs there.
Yeah, Zerglings kind of jump around when they pop out, so you can actually get tons of free hits there, and you can see massacring those Zerglings as they come out. The drones fighting now. Good micro, though, by herO on the drones. Amazingly good micro on the drones.
Pretty nuts micro, dude.
Yeah.
I can't even believe this. I'm sorry, is there a Spire started for... Oh, there it is.
No, I don't think either side has actually started their Spire.
Yeah.
They're just layer boys right now.
Some layer gamers. Now, this is a lot of Lings.
There's a sunken.
Yeah, but I think that he can basically take the fight and then go back into the main. Now, if herO's going to hatch some more Zerglings, that's a different story here.
Yeah, look at this. He forcefully gets away from the sunken, starts attacking Lings only, getting into the main base now. There's no sunken in here, and even if those are all Lings in the eggs, this is going to do some big damage.
Yeah, he comes out again. And you got to remember how fragile drones are here and how impactful it is to even lose a drone. And again, nice attack here on the eggs, but it does seem like herO has almost enough. I guess I stand corrected. And more Lings are going to keep coming through, and I don't know if there's any recourse really that herO has here. It's sort of a... There's not a ramp. It's actually a large entry point here from the natural to the main, and so without that ability to block, I mean, right now, Larva just looking like a ZVZ tactician.
Dude.
I can't believe it. 3-0.
So one-sided. So
Damn,
one-sided.
dude. It's like he knew exactly what to do.
Yeah. It feels like he is just reading herO inside out, and it doesn't matter what the openers are. He just outplays him tactically.
Yeah, it's funny because most ZVZ, you see them run in there, you send all your Lings back. But then Larva looks at that and says, oh, you've opened up Pandora's box, my friend. Now I can just keep flooding you, and you can't deal with it because you made a sunken column.
I know.
Which is supposed
How
to make
crazy
that
is that?
impossible.
Yeah,
He
that's
just
supposed
says-
to be your defense.
Yeah. So he just gets in there, and there's not a lot that could be done for herO after the Larva started to outnumber the Lynx. First of all, you can target down the eggs. Eggs won't die, but as the Lynx come out, as Tastosis said, they kind of the Lynx hatch because they spawn on top of each other.
Yeah.
They kind of move around, and so you get a couple free hits.
Yeah, and you actually add to the chaos of that when they're trying to displace and actually get down because they're like they pop out of the egg. So yeah. One thing I want to point out about that game is how decisive Larva was.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he insta-countered across the map, knowing that he would have enough to hold the Lings that were getting into his main base, and that allowed him to get right past that Sunken and get that damage on immediately. Just wonderful play from him here tonight.
I don't know that herO's going to take another game. I thought, you know, a game before, I'm like, well, herO's going to step it up. But, like, Larva is looking better and better with each coming game here. Now, CVZ, I mean, it's such a brutal matchup, but I have to imagine he could win one more, right?
It's hard to imagine going 4-0 from here. But at the same time, you know, Larva's up 3-0, so I guess it's not that crazy.
I think we're going to be going to a break here, guys. When we come back, we need to see, can herO start the comeback, or does Larva close this out in an extremely one-sided fashion?
야채 착착, 방토 톡톡, 아보카도 슥슥, 그리고 제로. 이렇게 맛있다고? 맛은 배로, 칼로리는 제로. 칠성사이다 제로.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
상상도 못했었는데 첫날 불이일급 당하고 이제 두 번째 날도 지니까 그냥 멘탈이 나가더라고요. 셋째 날 잘해봐야겠다 이제 그 생각밖에 없었어요. 무난히 올라가겠다 싶었는데 이제 한 판을 졌어요. 정신 안 차리면 떨어지겠다 필살 각오로 했습니다. 사실 저는 좀 빨리 하면 빨리 할수록 좋아해요. 이제 A조 걸려가지고 너무 좋았고 이번에 전역한 이제 김정우 선수도 있어가지고 뭔가 더 재밌을 것 같다고 생각했습니다.
이번에 조일장
이게 웬만한 숫자에 어쨌든 러커라면은 골리앗과 더불어서 이
16강을 향해 뻗어나오고 있습니다.
정우가 저저전을 정말 잘해요. 그래가지고 재밌겠다 이제 그 생각으로 게임을 했는데 제가 상황이 안 좋아지더라고요. 근데 좀 잘 해가지고 역시 잘하는 사람이랑 하면 재밌구나 약간 이런 기분을 또 느꼈었던 것 같아요. 이번에는 진짜 한 명 뽑고 싶다 이 생각으로 조지명 씨가 왔는데 이번에 좀 빨리 뽑힌 것 같은데 이제 선택권이 없이 빨리 뽑혔더라고요. 그래가지고 이래서 시드를 따야 되는구나 이 생각을 했던 것 같아요. 와서 손도 제대로 못 풀고 뭔가 하려니까 잘 안 되더라고요. 뮤탈 컨트롤도 그렇고 이제 판단들도 그렇고 이제 컨트롤이 잘 안 되다 보니까 좀 짧게 가고 싶은데 약간 이런 생각이 들었어요. 그래가지고 뮤탈로 최대한 빈틈 보면서 그러면서 이제 썬큰 받고 진짜 똥게임 만들어가지고 겨우 이겼던 것 같아요. 사실 영진이가 요즘 너무 잘해가지고 좀 까다롭겠다 이렇게 생각했었는데 막상 해보니까 좀 상황도 잘 나오고 뭔가 실수만 안 하면 이기겠는데 이런 상황이 나오더라고요. 그래가지고 최대한 천천히 그냥 침착하게 게임했던 것 같아요.
자, 조일장 선수와 만나게 될 선수는 프로토스 장윤철 선수고요.
연습을 좀 도와줬는데 너무 잘하더라고요. 연습 과정에서 다 줬었는데 제가 대회 때 윤철이를 좀 많이 이겼었거든요. 그동안. 그래가지고 좀 자신감은 있었어서 대회에서 잘해보자 약간 이런 생각이었어요. 질럿을 너무 잘 써가지고 상대가 저글링을 좀 많이 뽑자 이렇게 주도권을 오히려 내가 상대한테 압박을 줘야겠다 그 생각을 가지고 해가지고 그때 게임을 돌이켜보면은 제가 뮤탈로 이제 아칸을 잡아가지고 타이밍이 나오겠다고 생각을 했어요. 아칸이 잡혔으면 다시 아칸을 만들어야 되는데 안 만든 것 같더라고요. 그래가지고 뮤탈로 본진을 조금 피해를 줬다고는 해도 병력은 살아있고 이제 템플러가 제일 중요한데 템플러를 못 잡아가지고 안 될 거라고 생각을 했어야 되는데 기분이 좋아가지고 막 들어갔던 것 같아요.
반방 더 있고요.
네. 자, 이거 성과를 좀 올리거나 해야 되는데
그런 상황이 됐고요.
네, 다시 한번 들어가.
여기 대박을 하는데요. 공일업에 방역 그냥 일반적인 힙사 상대하들만큼밖에 안 되고 있어요.
그렇지 않으면은 지금 있는 어떤 구도를 깰 수가 없습니다.
디팔러까지 와서 이게 병력이 쏟아지고 취재.
2대1 상황에서는 이제 이클립스가 사실 유리하게 가기가 좀 많이 어렵더라고요, 게임이. 진짜 연습 과정에서 이제 드랍을 하자 이 생각이 문득 들었던 게 진짜 게임 결과에서 나와가지고 너무 좋았던 판인 것 같아요. 군복무 때 나왔던 거 말고는 이제 저번 시즌 16강 이제 이번에 4강 왔던 것 같은데 생각보다 빨리 왔다 약간 이런 생각도 들면서 열심히 준비해 보려고요. 저번에 제가 시즌 4 때 한번 4강에서 만났었는데 그때랑은 완전 딴 사람인 것 같아요. 진짜 요즘에 진짜 제일 잘한다고 생각하고 근데 만나면 제가 이기지 않을까 네, 이런 생각이 드네요. 네. 오랜만에 4강인데 결승 꼭 갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
Guys, is he gonna 4-0 or are we gonna have a comeback? I really want herO to come back, and I feel like I could not have been more wrong about where each of these guys is at and what their skill sets are. Like, Larva is showing that he completely understands from A to Z how to handle a ZVZ in every situation. He knows how to defend easily. He knows how to punish what looks like a pretty ordinary counterattack on that last map with the Lings coming in. He goes, oh, you made that mistake. And by the way, guys, Larva has wanted to win an ASL for a long time. I mean, you can kind of feel the tension here just looking at him. He wants to close this out. He knows you could easily lose a couple ZVZs in a row, and now it's even. But herO, I think, is really feeling the walls close in.
Oh, for sure. Down 0-3 in ZVZ, in every situation, he's being outplayed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Whether it's Mutas, it's Lings, it's Mutas and Lings. Those are all the situations.
Ascension for our next map.
Okay. I hope herO can bust something out and start some sort of comeback.
Me too, man. I mean, I can only imagine the Queen's watching this, and the Diablo voice comes out of his mouth, and he goes, fresh meat. Like, looking at herO in that third place match. Yeah. It's the Butcher. All right, guys, we're going to go to Game 4, and I hope, as much as you do, that this is not a 4-0. But if it does, hell, man, it's going to be a crazy finals. Queen's looking at this game and just thinking about which kind of hot sauce he's going to use to eat herO in the third place, fourth place match. He's like, oh, Chipotle sauce, or do we do some good old Tabasco?
Yeah.
Does he taste better with soy sauce? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of ways I could eat the Zerg.
What if he's thinking that, but now herO turns it on and 4-0's Larva?
That's a good question. He's
Yeah, then what does he feel like? Yeah. All right, let's see if what is herO going to do as his opener here? That's kind of the thing that I'm sitting here waiting to see.
Yeah, the same. I'm like, all right, what's it gonna be?
Yeah. I don't even care on Larva's side. I already know. I already know everything there is to know about Larva, okay? All the situations he's the best in. But herO, what does he do when he's down 0-3? So you can't go 0-4. 0-4 is the worst feeling. Let me tell you from experience.
Oh, no,
it is the worst feeling.
I actually, we've talked about this a little bit, but we're almost more pro best of 5s than best of 7s, because and this is from StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1. We've realized after casting so many best of 7s, the odds of it ever going to 4-3 are so low.
Yeah, it's super low.
But a best of 5 has a chance to be closer. Obviously, a pro gamer wants more games to prove themselves, but
and honestly,
we do come from this from an entertainment standpoint as well. So.
Yeah, and entertainment-wise, I feel like a 3-1 feels closer than a 6-2, and certainly closer. I mean, than a 4-2, and certainly closer
I was about
than
to be like, well, yeah, Tastosis is definitely closer than the results we can't have because it's impossible.
Yes, Tasteless. Look at you. You finally got me, Tasteless.
It feels closer than a 7-11, as I would say.
Oh, my God. All right, you finish this one off on your own with your crazy knowledge, Tasteless. Take us home, Tasteless, you and Larva.
No, I think a best of 5, you end up with a closer story.
And 4-0s are like, with a 3-0, you're like, damn, this guy like really won. This other guy never really got going. With a 4-0, you're like, he never got going. He never was going to get going. He never will get going.
It's like, wow, that wasn't close at all, right? Remember when we got into the 4th game and the guy had already been 3-0'd?
Yeah, and he just
and
looked beaten. He looked defeated.
He's just sweating bullets in
his
chair.
When you're down 2-0, you're like, you know what? It's only 2 games.
Yeah.
After 3 games, you're like, oh, it's 3 games.
But then if it's, I don't know what's worse, a 4-0 or then the 4-1. Where this kid's getting dumpstered the entire time. And then he has one game where he's like, oh, I 4-pulled you and it worked, and now I don't have enough tricks that work like that.
herO might be able to pull that for us. Let's see. Here he comes with his lings. Very similar to game 1 here.
Yeah, herO always the first to initiate here, but Larva seems to not have struggled with this at all.
Very good micro from herO. Literally hasn't taken a hit yet, which is awesome. He's putting a ton of damage onto the hatchery, forcing these drones to come out and fight.
These drones, of course, makes Larva stronger, but he's not mining in the meanwhile. And herO continues to make... he gets that one drone. That was so good.
Oh, the drone's actually having a hard time getting into the battle here. Only 4 lings left over. This looks fantastic for herO.
Yeah, drones sometimes seem to just kind of tap out like they've got narcolepsy or something. Like they just fall asleep on the spot. It's hard to like make them just go for the fight sometimes.
Yeah. They aren't good at being attack move, that's for sure. Drones may be the worst unit to fight with.
Yeah. So he's got the hatch pretty low. I mean, 2 drones is quite a loss there. And if he can actually bust this down with control, I mean, I think it's an easy setup here for herO. Now he's also going into his Spire.
And now Larva's Larva advantage is starting, right? Like he's just got twice as many Larva coming out. A lot of lings going across the map right now, but herO's going to set up a very nice concave. He has enough lings that it feels like he can hold this right up to his mutas.
I mean, this should be an easy hold here for herO.
Especially if those eggs hatch.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Do you even listen to what I say?
When Larva's lings hatch out of those eggs, I'm like, well, that's weird.
No, lurkers pop out. I'm like, see, that's an easy hold now. And he's actually setting the Overlord over the lings on purpose sometimes. Well, not this time he's moving it, but you can do that so that it's very hard for your opponent to click on them.
Right. Larva trying to puncture this area. I don't know that he can.
Ooh, that's a good one right there. If you can trade 1 for 1, you're really good. That cleanly. See, guys, like, you see him attacking with 2, but 3 of his opponents are attacking. Just to explain these concaves a little bit, because people might get confused, or it's like, wait, he has more lings, why can't he break it? If you set the lings as close to each other as they can get, and attack move upon them, or any sort of movement commands into them, will not have your lings as close together as they are. So oftentimes it will be situations like that where 1 ling is being attacked by 2. So, like, for instance, we just saw perfectly right there. 2 lings come in from Larva, but are being attacked by 3.
Right.
So you're literally getting 50% more damage output than your opponent by stacking your lings together as close, like they're in a Congo line, you know?
So he's going to get the Spore up here. We don't have another hatch started yet here for herO. And basically you have 2 Spores over here to cover the entry point and the minerals. By the way, the ling counterattack should be deflected with ease. Ooh, what?
Ooh, slips a few in, and that's going to get the lings out of position at least.
Yeah, going to try to get that.
Okay, gets a drone. More lings come in, but he just doesn't have as many lings as herO. I'm not feeling super hot about his position here. Spores being made. I kind of like where herO's at right now. Wow, he made that. That is the first hatchery in the whole world that costs 300 minerals and 8 gas.
So he's trying to find an opening here. 4 mutas is not enough that it's has to be respected. I don't know how many mutas does it take to one-shot a drone. I actually don't know that number.
Well, they do 9, right? So it'd be 5.
So yeah, so when you get that number 5, that should be an easy one-shot on drones. Of course, if you lose one of those mutas, you're immediately out. Damn, herO!
Look at these spores. These siege spores here.
He's not finding anything with these.
No, he's not. He knows where the spores are now.
The spores
found those.
Spore is such an over-the-top building, by the way.
It is
fires
kind of
so
ludicrous,
fast
actually.
and like has such range.
The thing is, it costs so much more than the anti-air of the other races. Like, so much more.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. A drone, which is 50, plus the drone itself, obviously. And then 75 for the creep colony and 50 for it. It has to be a machine gun. All right, a lot of lings out here for Larva up at the top. He's kind of keeping them far enough out that they're hard to identify where they're at. I'm not sure about that one. Loses a few.
Muta's going to come back in, but I mean, Larva's kind of playing the perfect game here. He just sort of moves the drones away. And honestly, you know, herO's kind of impotent in these moments. He's not really able to do anything with these mutas. And now these lings can come around here, and this is huge. Keep in mind there's no sunken colony in the main either.
Yeah, sends a couple lings to stay on those gas drones, and the others into the main base. Drills away. He's lost 3 drones, I think, so far in this attack.
I believe 3 is the correct number.
Okay, and
yes.
now 4th. I think I just saw 4th fall, so I believe he ended up losing 4 drones total to those lings. herO up in supply a little bit here. The muta's starting to pop out. The rest of the lings sent out as well, so the mutas are going to have to be on anti-ling duty. Those ones on anti-ling duty as well.
Yeah, there's not that many more lings out on the map.
No, not too many.
It's important to express that it's a very finite resource, the lings. You don't have a lot, and once you start making mutas, if you're making lings, that's a larva that could have been an egg with a muta in it. We don't have a third hatch on either side here as well. And so we've basically entered into the muta arm race. And I don't know if this is going to be that ideal for herO. Keep in mind, because of the way the game sets up, kind of like we had in Game 1, there's no spores here for herO. Now, the muta count's lower for Larva, but he could slip in here, especially if he causes a distraction with his lings up here. He can come in here and gun down 3 or 4 drones.
Ooh, yeah. Look at that. 2?
But
oh, gosh. Several of them. But, yeah, he might get caught. Now, his lings counterattacking and splitting the mutas off to try to get more damage here, going after the drones.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I don't know if his lings are actually going to do enough.
A lot he was trying to do at once there.
Yeah.
Oh, gets that drone.
Yeah, he does. But he lost, like, 3 mutas at least. And now herO's muta count is enough to start killing spores as well.
Well, I think he's okay because there's still 5 here for Larva. And he did get some drones back there. I don't know how many exactly. There's the armor upgrade for herO. Now, that's a problem for Larva. We don't know if he's got an armor or maybe an attack upgrade coming. But
that makes a huge difference.
If herO can find this and
he found him. He found him.
Oh, he's just barely in moving shot range. It's so close. Oh my God.
Oh, he's getting moving shot on one of them. That's a lot of damage. He's going to end up killing that one. Oh, he's going to get another one.
Lings counterattack in here, though.
Oh my
and
God.
herO has just not reacted at all. Oh my God, he got so many drones, and then he runs back out. Oh.
This is crazy. More drones ending up falling. A lot of mutas coming out for herO. Larva losing yet another muta, but pulls back to his spores. Don't forget, he has way more drones.
Yeah, I mean, he's just draining resources so much more efficiently. And Larva has gotten, with these lings coming in here, just such an incredible amount of damage done.
more spores going up. I love the addition of spores. This is such an important thing for Zerg versus Zerg. If you're in this type of situation where your opponent just has more mutas than you, and like, for instance, he has an additional carapace upgrade, you'll never win if they break any of your spores.
Right.
So you have to continually add them.
There's that armor upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, that's big. Thank God that finished for Larva.
Yeah, I was wondering what's going to happen. The roles are very different here. Larva's a sealed-off fortress growing at a rate that's difficult for herO to deal with, but herO controls the map and is able to take pot shots like that one we just saw there. The third base, though, for Larva is being squeezed right over here in the center left.
Yeah, and he's going to scout it, but if he can pull the Ling back...
Well, here's the thing. If herO goes for that, Larva can counterattack into the main and kill all the drones.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But these mutas can actually kill the spores.
Right.
And look, the mutas actually went up north to deal with one Zergling, and now he's starting to kill spores. I feel like that was a mistake for Larva to go up there and clear that Ling. You need to make sure that he's not picking off a ton of damage on you. But you know what? He keeps the hatchery alive for now, so that's something.
He's going to try to chip away at the extractor. And again, this is armor versus armor mutas.
Right, more mutas coming in right now for herO as Larva tries to micro his best here. He does not the spores are helping a little bit. But I don't know if they're helping enough. Feels like herO's putting out a lot of damage here. It's +2 carapace.
Oh my God.
My God. I'm actually kind of surprised he got the +2. Well, it's so expensive at 225.
Right.
But it does prevent 2 damage. The first carapace prevents 3 Mutalisk damage. The second one prevents 2.
And we don't know if Larva's upgrading his attack, his second armor, or if he's even upgrading at all.
He might have gone for, just the
1-1.
attack upgrade. A lot of Zerg players prefer that. Is Larva going to be able to actually get enough here? More spores being made.
herO has not taken a fresh base of his own. Very nice second spore there. He realizes really the only weak spot he has is down there. Now, what about this base up here that's in the north? Is that that's not
it's double
a
spore, man.
sunk. I thought that was going to be one spore.
Yeah, well, you know what? With the double spore, he has some chance of fighting off the mutas, I guess. But now he's getting more and more out of position. Right? Like, he's got a big group of mutas to the north, which means these can... wow.
Actually connects.
Yeah. It's 2 groups. I'm not sure exactly how many, but more than 1 hotkey worth of mutas for herO in this. Another set connect. You know what? Maybe
what is happening here?
Yeah, this is too gangly for herO, I think, using more than 1 group.
Yeah, I guess
it's very uncomfortable. Zergs are used to 1 group.
Yeah, it's awkward trying to micro 2 sets of mutas. It's just 1 armor upgrade here.
Yeah, but it does have spores.
Scourge are connecting, though. And Scourge, if they get their connections off, are basically what actually wins the fight even more than the armor upgrade.
Dude, Larva's going to do it.
Larva is
my God.
beast. I can't believe it. This is some of the most impressive CDC I've ever seen. And look at the emotion that he is wearing on his face. He has done it. This has been a dream. Throws off the headset. He is an ASL finalist. Thumbs down to herO.
Dude, wow. This is his first finals. This is a big, big, big deal for Larva. This is the dream of every Brood War player on Earth, is to make it to the ASL finals, StarLeague finals, and Larva has done it. This is huge. He looked so much better than herO's ZVZ. It looked like a mismatch.
herO, I gotta say, I had no idea that Larva was this much better than him in this matchup. Larva is so complete in ZVZ, and Queen is watching this, looking at herO going, fresh.
Yeah.
I look forward to casting our 3rd place, 4th place, and I especially look forward to this finals. We've got one of the most beloved players in esports.
For sure. Foot Star Gamer.
Starfoot Gamer. People have wanted this guy to win for a long time. He's always been an emotional player. People have seen him rage on stream. He is like the new generation of StarCraft players. But then we got Mini, who's reinvented PvZ.
I know.
It's going to be an emotional finals, Artie.
This is honestly the matchup I wanted to see anyways. Just the fact that it's a PVZ is amazing, and then to have Larva there, who's such a smart player, you can see how hard he's worked to get to where he is. What a drastic improvement. Showing a little bit of a recap here, how he ended up winning, blocking any attacks there, and herO just like got sloppy here. Like, we can't show you how many mutas are there because we can't select more than 12.
This is a problem with Broodor, is that we actually don't always know how much is in the stack, but you can usually tell by how dark the shadow is. The shadows do stack.
Yeah, it gives you a much better idea, but you can see that he's just not comfortable. Like, you can tell that there's more than 12 just by the way it moves as well. The fact that part of it moves than the other part, that means 2 hotkeys. But yeah, he didn't control it that well. He had more mutas and better upgrades, and then Larva just continually hit him with Scourge.
And by the way,
he fought over Spores. Everything went wrong for herO.
Larva playing the long run CVC as well here, which is a delight to see. I mean, herO's really trying to propel the game to an end, and Larva just defends. Larva better muta micro, better decision making, insane counter attacks to the Lings. 4-0, man.
I'm super surprised. I would never, ever, ever have guessed that this would have been a 4-0. It would never have struck me that that could have been the case. herO is such a strong Zerg player.
So crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we've got one hell of a finals, guys. And the third place, fourth place is going to be another great CVC as well.
I wonder if herO, like, is herO going to be able to do something a bit better against Queen, do you think?
No.
No?
I mean, I think Queen still is the best CVZer in the world.
It feels like it. Like, when you saw him against Soma in the last finals, it was pretty amazing how strong he was.
Yeah.
So I tend to agree with you. Although now Larva is the best CVZ Tastosis. I'm not accepting any other answers.
We're going to go to the interview now with Larva. Let's see how he's feeling. He is finally in an ASL Finals.
까지 올라오는데 정말 오랜 시간이 걸렸습니다. 그토록 원하던, 그토록 꿈꾸던 그 결승전 올라가게 됐는데요. 소감 한번 들어보겠습니다.
일단은 일장이 형한테 ASL 시즌 4에 대한 좀 복수를 한 것 같아서 좀 기분이 좋고요. 그리고 또 결승 갔다는 사실이 아직 좀 믿기지가 않는데, 다들 결승 올라온 분들이 여기서 얘기하는 걸 보니까 되게 행복해 보이던데 이런 느낌이었던 것 같아요. 네, 너무 기분 좋습니다.
정말 산전수전 다 겪었잖아요. 그리고 4강전에 올라와서 정말 안타깝게 떨어진 경우들이 좀 많았습니다만 오늘은 완벽해졌습니다. 자, 이렇게 좀 완벽해지는 데 있어서 어떤 일들이 있었던 거예요?
일단 연습 과정 자체가 많이 달랐고요. 예전에는 저 혼자 연습했다면 지금은 좀 같은 이제 프로게이머와 옵저버도 보면서 피드백도 얻고, 그다음 또 연습량도 더 늘리고 이렇게 하다 보니까 많이 배우게 되더라고요. 그래가지고 뭐 올라가는 거에 대한 의미를 좀 두지 말고 배우는 거에도 의미를 뒀더니 이렇게 좋은 결과가 있었던 것 같습니다.
와, 오늘 저는 봤어요. 네, 전 천재과라고 못 봤는데 거의 노력형 천재를 보는 듯한 이몽규 선수였다라고 보는데, 결승전에 대한 그 준비도 아직 시간이 남아있긴 합니다만 어느 정도는 되어 있었습니까? 프로토스 잡는 법 뭐 이런 거 있나요?
프로토스는 항상 뭐 언제나 이겨야 된다라는 생각이 있었고요. 뭐 그거는 예전에 이제 김태경 선수 현역 시절에 연습 도와줄 때부터 좀 저만의 프라이드였었거든요. 이 사람을 좀 도와주는데 내가 다른 토스한테 지면 안 되지, 이런 좀 강박관념이 있는데, 이번에 뭐 태경 형도 이기고 그리고 또 다른 토스들도 장윤철 선수도 이기면서 자신감을 더 얻었던 것 같습니다.
네, 이 강한 자신감, 이제 결승 무대 변현재 선수가 기다리고 있는 상황이고, 사실상 이제 이몽규 선수 입장에서는 프로토스를 상대로 해서 한 번만 승리했다면 우승을 찾아가게 되는 거거든요. 변현재 선수가 그래도 뭐 까다롭거나 하지 않습니까?
이제 같은 구사 친구인데, 28살 친구인데 굉장히 또 예전부터 열심히 해왔던 거를 잘 알고 있기 때문에, 그리고 또 실력도 되게 변칙적으로 하면서 굉장히 까다롭게 하는 선수인 걸 알기 때문에 어려운 승부가 될 것 같은데, 저는 이제 정석만 할 줄 아는 게 아니고 저도 이제 변칙을 좀 할 줄 알거든요. 근데 이제 정석과 변칙 둘 다 할 줄 아는 플레이어가 얼마나 무서운지 결승에서 보여주고 싶습니다.
네. 그리고 항상 이렇게 이몽규 선수가 정말 열심히 연습하고 준비한 데 있어서 가장 힘이 돼준 또 가족들이 지금 보고 있을 텐데요. 가족들에게도 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
이제 매번 어떻게 보면은 떨어진 모습만 보여주고 집에서 힘이 없는 모습만 보여줬었는데 이번 시즌 최종은 정말 집에 가서 우승해가지고 뭐 꼭 안아주고 싶습니다. 그리고 연습 도와준 사람들이 굉장히 많은데 제가 뭐 한 명 한 명 다 호명을 해주지는 못하겠지만 그래도 16강 때부터 계속 함께 있었던 이제 짭제동 박상현 선수가 정말 좀 든든했고 또 많은 곁에서 힘이 됐어요. 그래서 어떻게 보면은 뭐 지금 방송에서는 라이벌 관계지만 정말 서로 윈윈할 수 있는 그런 친구가 있어서 정말 든든했고 또 그 제 방 시청자분이 또 이제 맵 데이터별로 그다음 빌드별로 이렇게 딱 파일로 나눠서 정말 보내준 친구가 있었는데 16강 때부터 정말 고맙다고 전하고 싶습니다.
네, 다시 한번 축하드리고요. 결승 무대에서 또 팬분들 또 많은 선수들에게 또 멋진 경기 선사해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다.
감사합니다.
네, 고생하셨습니다. 네, 자 이렇게 생애 최초로 결승 무대에 올라간 이몽규 선수.
Congratulations again to Larva. I don't even know who I'm supposed to root for here. Larva and Mini. I mean, Mini revolutionizing Protoss. Larva, the heartthrob of StarCraft.
The heartthrob.
The heartthrob.
Totally. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, it's like Mini is, like you said, revolutionizing the matchup once again. But Larva's a very smart Zerg player. Like he's very cognitive. He figures things out. Like that's the best Spore play that we've really seen in ZVZ, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Like his understanding is very high, and he has a lot of games to look at from Mini, where he can kind of pick apart the builds and try to figure out like, oh, this is where Mini's going to be weak. So I think it's going to be a really interesting finals here. I think it's going to be a really good one. Like, honestly,
this might be our best finals.
This is going to be a great finals.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I think the fact that Larva can look at what Mini did to Queen gives him some time to prep. I think if Larva goes in blind against Mini, like Queen did, yeah, I mean, I think Larva gets taken out. Probably the games don't look that different, but now Larva can prep, he can prepare. He is a very different Zerg player from Queen as well.
All right, so there you have it, guys. The finals are coming up. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be great. Okay, what's your prediction for the finals? Right now,
I think Mini takes it 4-3, 4-2, something like that.
I actually think Larva's going to take it 4-3, 4-2.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's going to get cheesy at the beginning, make Mini on his back foot, and get into his big macro games that he's so strong at.
Yeah.
I think that Larva is gonna figure this out, and we're gonna go back to what's more comfortable, and that is Zerg being favored against Protoss.
Yeah, we'll see if Hydra Bust or Aggro is going to be the way for Larva here. You know, Mini doesn't seem to lose to it, but Mini is a player that you have to try to keep oppressing him in the game. You have to be on top of him because he will get out of control. He will just tech into whatever he wants and blindside you with weird stuff.
That's right. But yeah, this is going to be Mini's second finals here. His first against last, of course. That was a great finals as well.
Right.
And he's had a lot of deep finishes. Larva, on the other hand, his best has been round of 4 so far. And he's had this steady progression as of late.
And I don't think he's done growing.
No,
he's going to be a StarCrafter for life.
Honestly, I was thinking when I saw the round of 8 that this was one of the only guys that wasn't going to be able to win. But now I'm going back in time and changing what I said. I've said all along that Larva could be the champion.
We're going back and editing those VODs.
Yeah. No, he's looking great, and I mean, such a big personality as well. It's rare that you get that combo, where the guy with like so much personality is like maybe going to win the tournament.
Well, this has been so fun to cast ASL. Don't forget about the third place, fourth place match. I don't know how long we're going to keep this screen up, maybe forever, who knows, but there is going to be another great ZVZ around the corner.
This
Hopefully
is just what we see now, Tastosis, is the screen. It's like we walk around the road and we just... I get hit by a car because I just still see that screen.
Guys, thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/ASL English. Hopefully we have some new stuff we can announce, but your support is appreciated.
That's right. So I think we're just about done, and we'll see you next time.
Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.